Hello YouTube, SamuraiRevolution here, and today we have a Russian Nation review video. I had this requested by someone in the comments, so hopefully this can fulfill the request. And before we start here, I have a couple things I want to mention. I had a bunch of requests for certain videos, a couple being Iroquois gameplay and another being Spanish gameplay. And don't worry guys, I'll get that stuff done eventually. I have a couple things going on at the moment, so that'll be out as soon as I can get done. But yeah, so we're gonna jump into this video right here, and the nation obviously is Russia, and we'll start in right here with the civilization bonus. Settlers and infantry train in groups, and blockhouses act as barracks and an outpost combined. And then also one more thing I'd like to add is that their military is cheaper than others, but that comes in with a disadvantage because their units are 20% less, or like 20% weaker than their counterparts. So yeah, we're gonna jumping down to here to like the main strategy, and in the beginning of the game, mainly what you're gonna do, especially in team games, is load up some streetlets, and it's the cheapest unit in the game, and it's obviously an early game unit. You can train about 10 of them in for about 375 food and like 100 wood, and that's a pretty good deal right there, if you ask me. But they're really weak. I believe they're the weakest unit in the game as well. And if you have the transformation musketeer card in age 3, you can transform them to musks, which is an amazing card to have, I believe, and I use that almost every game actually. It's really fun to use. And then we're going to jump into the next thing down here is Oprinchnik. Overpowered late game, as most of you know, amazing in the square formation. And to me, personally, they're only good for raids and taking down buildings. That's my personal opinion. Lots of people like to load them up anyways. But for me, they're only really good versus villagers, buildings, and then partially okay for artillery. But if you're going to go for some combat versus infantry and stuff like that, you're highly going to want to get the Cossacks instead. So next here, we're going to go to the unique units. And obviously, the Streelets and Oprinchniks are two of the unique units there, and I kind of went over them already. So that's why I did not have like stuff for them. But the next one there is the Cossack, and these guys are really good actually. I really enjoyed using these guys. They cost 1 population, which is awesome, and they cost 75 food and coin, which is pretty decent for cavalry if you ask me, and they don't really sacrifice too many hit points or attack. They're just a little bit lower of a downgrade compared to the Hussar. And then they're obviously the Russian Hussar, because that's what it replaces. And then they're pretty decent when you combine them with infantry. Like if you combine them with some musketeers or some streelets and stuff like that, they'll be pretty good against another army. And then down here to the Royal Guard units. These guys I didn't really use too much. That's one of the things that I think Russia like lacks, is good Royal Guard units. But here we got the Grenadier and the Tartar, I think, horsemen, basically archer cavalry. And yeah, the Grenadier's a decent one. I haven't really tried it too much, but since the Russians really lack a good anti-musketeer unit late game, these guys could be pretty good if you did use them. The Tartar horsemen, I don't really see a use for them, really. Just load out some musketeers instead. And yeah, so that's all that stuff there. We're going to move to the pros and cons. And the pros here, they have a solid economy. Throughout the whole match, you're going to have a really good economy. It's never really going to falter too much. You get 3 settlers at a time. That's another thing there. That's a big bonus. Getting 3 villas at a time, that's only a positive for me. And then another thing here is the cheaper military. Obviously, as I said earlier, that's a bonus as well. And that can technically be a con as well, but I think it's a bonus because you don't really notice it too much in the gameplay because you can get more guys. And then instant infantry is another thing. You can send in 2 infantry train time cards, one of them being a team card, and then you have your church upgrade as well. And then infantry automatically, I think it's a musketeers and hellebards, automatically train 25% faster than any other civilization, and that's a really good bonus to have as well. And the next thing here is good cavalry. I believe they have some pretty good cavalry. The Cossacks are really good, and the Oprinchniks are really good at taking down like a person's base later in the game, and they cause lots of havoc. And plus, they're really good for killing settlers. And then next thing here is that you can build forts. Now you can build forts with musketeers if you use the musketeer building fort card. That's a really good card to use. It gives Russia one of the best defenses in the game because you can just rebuild your forts, which is kind of overpowered if you ask me. But yeah, that's kind of what Russia is. Russia is pretty overpowered. And next thing here is Blockhouse is good for rushing. Obviously, Blockhouse, another good defensive thing if you ask me, and you can train guys from that. And it's good to rush with because if someone's trying to take it down, you will attack their units as well. And now we're going to jump into the cons. Hard to destroy musketeers late game. Now I was kind of talking about this a little bit for the grenadiers. Since the Strelats are so weak, like late game, they suffer so badly. Even if you get a large amount of them, they're not going to do too much damage, considering that people's economies are going to be much better by that time, and they'll even be outshot by musketeers, which is pretty bad. So you'll have to get some artillery combined with your musketeers, and that's why I think the grenadiers can be really useful. And then obviously the like falconets and stuff like that go hand in hand with that. Next thing here, our units are 20% weaker to their counterparts. I said this earlier. The unit group train can be annoying. It can be very annoying. What I mean by this is a couple things. First off, population. So when you do go Strelats, they cost 10 population slots per group, and that can be really annoying because you could have, like, let's say 6 population left, and then you need to have at least 10 population to train that, and it can be really annoying to have to continually build houses to get those guys out because you need a large group of them for them to be pretty effective. And then also they cost you have to pay a large sum of money up front to get all the units at the same time. As I said earlier with the Strelats, they cost like 375 food, I think, and 100 wood, and you have to pay all that up front to get the 10 guys, so it can be a little bit harder to get units since you have to pay so much at one time. And then last thing here with the cons is bad Royal Guard units. And this is just for me personally. Maybe some other guys will disagree, but I don't think they have very good Royal Guard units. The Grenadiers will be decent. I haven't really tried them too much, but I think the Horse Archers are completely useless in my opinion. It would be good if they had maybe Guard Strelets that would help them out a lot late game, or Guard Cossacks, or maybe even a Princhniks. That'd be really awesome to have. But yeah, that's all really for Russia. My overall premises of this is that they're a really good nation for rushing. Obviously, it's in their name, and they're also really good late game. The only problem for me is that they really lack like a skirmisher or a longbow type unit that's good versus musketeers, and that kind of throws me off. But if you want to have like a solid nation, this is your way to go. If you like going fast gameplay, and you like beefing up your army with something overpowered towards the end, this is definitely the way to go. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please leave a comment below as always, and hit that like button if you will. That this was a lot of work to build this little screen that you see here. It takes a really long time, but I enjoy it. I think it's pretty fun, and I hope it helps you guys as well. So thank you guys for watching again, and I will see you guys later.